We will now move on to candidates for Council Ward 3, City of Twinsburg. Lori Sasala Faxina and Joanne McPherson. Opening remarks will come from Lori Sasala Faxina first.
Thank you. I'm Lori Sasala Faxina, born in Twinsburg, educated at nearby Hiram College with a degree in political science, raised 2 children here, and brought a man from Miami and turned him into a cheerleader for the city of Twinsburg. Us challengers do love this town, and we think it's amazing, and we'd like to keep it that way. On November 5th, you'll have a choice. 4 years ago, you didn't have that choice. My opponent wasn't challenged. I stepped up to be that challenge. Why? Because change is sorely needed. Let me explain this by telling you a very quick story. I'm a small business owner, and I sometimes have to entertain clients. Because of that, I have a dining membership at a private club in Aurora. The cost, $150 a quarter. Twinsburg residents, we are all members of another club, even if we never joined one. And the cost is far greater than $600 per year. The current mayor and the majority of council, which includes my opponent, decided to build a clubhouse in Twinsburg. They did it without our consent, meaning no ballot vote. And on top of the decision to build that clubhouse, the mayor and majority of council decided to fund it with a $6 million note that is collateralized by your taxes. Up to 7 mills, again, without your consent. All while essential services are awaiting capital improvements. We have paid officials who are not listening and not acting like civil servants. In fact, one of those council persons gave up the ghost. They serve 2 masters, not only the city of Twinsburg, but the Twinsburg Community Improvement Corporation. Ask yourself, as taxpayers and citizens of Twinsburg, am I being heard? I'm giving you a chance to vote and to be heard. Your chance to speak loudly is on November 5th, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now hear opening remarks from Joanne McPherson.
Thank you to the PTA and the Chamber and Mary for organizing this forum. And thank you all for coming. And now that I've seen your faces, I'm personally inviting you to council because that's my mission, is inviting people to the council meetings. I'm here today to ask for your support in my re-election, and I've taken a little different position on this. I just want you to know a little bit more about me. What you probably know is I'm that realtor that you see at Giant Eagle, but what you might not know is I have chosen to make Twinsburg my home for 26 years. I have 2 children, Brad and Amanda, that went through the schools. I'm an empty nester and a senior. I graduated from Cornell University, and I have a strong background in finance, management, and new business development. I've been a cheerleader and supporter of everything Twinsburg for years, sponsoring events such as the Taste of Twinsburg, the Freedom 5K, the Freedom Tribute Wall, TBL, show choir, high school scholarships, community theater, and more. When I was first on council 4 years ago, they said I brought a fresh perspective. I'm not so sure they would say that today. So, however, I'm going to continue to be asking questions, challenging answers, and digging deeper. We have our challenges ahead of us, working to maintain the excellent services we all enjoy while being resourceful with the funds we have, driving increased revenue through economic development. To hear opponents say that they are for fiscal responsibility, but they have not been to a council meeting, a finance meeting, met with our finance directors, or even the mayor, is an insult to all of us who have sat through the finance committee meetings. We've gone through item by item on the line budget. We've met with the department heads, and we've had to make some tough decisions. As for the clubhouse, we're monitoring it, and we have a consultant, and we're looking at ways to improve the bottom line. But instead of criticizing it, bring a friend or your family, promote it to your employer for a holiday party. Let's all help it to be successful. Joanne McPherson is a mom, a neighbor, a friend, a business owner, a citizen. I'm not a politician, so when you vote for me, you're going to get someone who's honest, resourceful, energetic, and passionate about our city. I'm very proud to represent Twinsburg. I'm proud to call it my home. So I'm asking you to vote for me for re-election in Ward 3.
Thank you. Question number 1, Joanne McPherson, you will have the first response. What is your short and long-term vision for the city?
Well, short term, I'd like to get through this election, number 1. We have a performance audit that's being done, and I'm looking forward to having that audit and implementing the strategies and then monitoring the results from that. Long term, I do believe in the economic development is needed to keep our taxes low and continue to provide all the services that we are accustomed to, and that our downtown needs an identity. No one's saying that we're going to have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but we can be a draw like Hudson, like Sugar Falls. And that's what I think we're looking for in terms of a downtown identity, a downtown destination.
Thank you. Lori Sasala Faxina, what is your short-term and long-term vision for the city?
Thank you. First of all, short term, fix the budget, period. Yes, I do talk fiscal responsibility. Yes, I have been to council meetings. If we don't have responsible government, your tax dollars are wasted. Currently, we have a consultant being paid $5,000 a month to check on the menu at the clubhouse. That's not fiscally responsible. So again, short term, fix the budget. Long term, I'd like to see a city government that is responsive to and respecting of our citizens. A city that will, in effect, focus on essential services such as police and fire, plus community coalition building, fostering that unique sense of community, a place where people will want to work, play, and grow old. And we do currently have a downtown, and we do currently have a vision. But whose vision is it? Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 2, Lori Sasala Faxina, you will have the first response. How will you provide a positive climate for business in the community?
Thank you. I'll strongly urge our mayor and council to stop competing with private business in the city. I'll advocate once again for a positive interaction between the city and the Chamber of Commerce. And I'll advocate for restoring a visitor center we once had. That visitor center went away when the funds were cut off. Those funds were redirected to the Twinsburg CIC, an unaccountable 501c3, where the mayor and several council people sit. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanne McPherson, how will you provide a positive climate for business in the community?
Well, as a business person, I think that we do have a very positive environment for our businesses, and as others have spoke, the Cornerstone success story, there's a lot of cities that would love to have a Cornerstone project in lieu of some of their vacant lands. As I said, we have a good program through our, with Larry Finch and the tax incentives that Mr. Fury mentioned. And I would only encourage everyone, instead of listening to some facts, some people that are presenting facts tonight that are not, please reach out to myself, any of the incumbents, the law director, our finance department, because there's a lot of things that are somewhat misrepresented.
Thank you. Question number 3, Joanne McPherson, you will have the first response. What is your plan to develop deeper relationships with citizens?
When I heard this question, I really thought about getting residents more involved in the city. I will continue to invite residents to the city council meetings and events. I will continue asking residents to serve on boards and commissions. I will continue to be honest and truthful in providing facts to all of our residents. I always say that I am only a phone phone call or email away. And I would like to look at possibly other ways to reach out to the residents, which Mayor Yates mentioned as well, but the school has had some webinars that have been very well attended. So those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you. Lori Sasala Faxina, what is your plan to develop deeper relationships with citizens?
Thank you. Relationships are built with openness and trust. I'm concerned about constantly hearing people say they are honest. Relationships are built when parties know to whom and who they are served or serves them. I'll encourage an open door policy at City Hall and make sure that big decisions are not made without input from our residents, such as when residents speak, defeating a rezoning issue twice, only to find it on a ballot for a third time. That's responsiveness, that's relationships with our citizens. You can come sit on my front porch and have a cup of coffee. You can call me, as long as you don't call me at 1 in the morning, and I will always take your call. That's something that we miss here, something that we all love. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori Sasala Faxina and Joanne McPherson, and all the candidates currently on the stage.
Thank you.